Today I want to talk about um, some potential James Harden destinations for trades, including teams that he has said that he wants to go. And I also have a couple of teams that haven't really been mentioned that he hasn't said anything about, and I haven't seen anything on like YouTube or Twitter about anybody speculating about these teams. So if you enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe. It really does help out as I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm pretty small right now, but every like, subscription really does make a massive difference. So obviously there's the Nets and the Sixers. I don't want to spend too much time on those two teams. I don't love the Nets package. I don't think there's a player in that package that has superstar potential. I think if the Rockets or trading James Harden, they should try to get a player who has that potential to be a superstar or borderline superstar. The Sixers, if they can get Ben Simmons, I say Rockets do it right now as long as you're getting a few first round picks along with Ben Simmons. Just do that. I don't think there's a lot better you can get for James Harden. Alright, so the first team I have is the Denver Nuggets. This might be surprising since they just came off a Western Conference semifinals or finals, Western Conference Finals playoff run. So while they shake up their team to get James Harden, well, I feel like if they feel like they can't beat the Lakers right now, they're not good enough to beat the Lakers. They can't beat some other top-heavy teams in the West, and they really do just want to push the needle because I think James Harden would really push them over the top and definitely make them a favorite to win the NBA championships. So yeah, what would they have to give up? I think that Michael Porter Jr. obviously has to be in there, and then Gary Harris for salary, Bol, he has some nice potential, and then first round picks. I think Michael Porter Jr. definitely has that superstar potential. He has obviously played very well in the bubble. He didn't play as well during the regular season, but he had some flashes towards the end of the season. But the bubbles where he really showed out, and he showed that he can really be an elite scorer. And then Bol, his floor right now is lower than some of the other young players that they can get from other teams, but he definitely has all-star potential, and he's a project, and as a rebuilding team, I don't think you mind taking on a project like Bol, who can do so many things at 7 feet tall. And then Gary Harris is just for salary filler, but he's a nice role player, and they might be able to flip him for a first or a couple seconds down the road. Now the second team I have, this one's a bit more for long shot. I don't really see this happening that much, but the Toronto Raptors, if they decide to make a trade similar to the one where they traded DeMar for Kawhi, I think it'd take probably OG Anunoby, Norman Powell, Chris Boucher, who's a nice young piece, and some other salary for it, and obviously first round picks. Now I don't love this that much because it's just not that player that moves the needle, that player that has that star potential in this mix, but I think, oh no, the Rockets don't want to trade him to the Sixers because it's Daryl Morey, and maybe they have some beef or something, or no, maybe they look elsewise and this is the best thing to get. For the Raptors, this is no question, you obviously do this, but the question would be were Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, and James Harden as three ball dominant guards, although Kyle Lowry's not that ball dominant, he can play off ball for sure. But yeah, that would be a question right there, how those three would fit together, especially on the defensive end. Kyle Lowry can play some good defense, but Fred VanVleet and James Harden and Kyle Lowry, that'll definitely be questionable in some switches, and teams can definitely attack that. Now the next team I have is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, this would definitely be a surprising trade if it happened. They did surprise us fans a couple years ago when they traded for Jimmy Butler. I didn't see that coming. He was a no trader, so I could see them trying to make a trade like this again. Back then they traded Zach LaVine, who was a nice young piece, and a first round pick that turned out to be Lauren Markkinen. So I could see them right now trading Ricky Rubio for the salary, $17 million, who the Rockets could then flip for a couple picks. And then Anthony Edwards would obviously have to be in there. And probably Malik Beasley, who's also a nice young piece. He's 24. And he showed flashes last year that he could be a really good scorer in the league down the road. He's only getting paid $14 million, so that could definitely be a steal for the amount he's getting paid. And then Anthony Edwards has that superstar potential. So I don't hate this trade package for the Rockets. I think you're getting some nice young pieces, and obviously they throw in a few first-round picks. And the Timberwolves have to do this. I think this would be more of a trade deadline trade. If maybe Anthony Edwards is playing good, but you don't love how the team's doing. Maybe you're like 10th seed, 11th seed in the stacked West, and you don't see yourself making the playoffs. And Cat has missed the playoffs a lot, and you're worried that maybe if you don't make the playoffs, it could upset him, even though he has D'Angelo Russell. Because as we saw with Russ and Harden, it doesn't really matter if you're best friends. If it doesn't really work out, anything could happen. You could ask for a trade. So maybe they don't love where they're at the trade deadline. They could maybe pull the gun on this trade and maybe trade Anthony Edwards. Now, other quick teams just thrown in there. The Miami Heat, I think they could definitely put a good package around for James Harden. It had to include Tyler Hero, of course, and Kendrick Nunn. I've seen some Heat fans saying no, they wouldn't want to trade Tyler Hero just because of fit, culture. This is a no-brainer for Heat. If you're the Heat manager, Pat Riley, you obviously do this. Tyler Hero's ceiling is probably a Gordon Hayward-esque player, maybe a little bit better, but I don't think he'll ever be a James Harden level scorer who's a top 5 player in the league right now and top 10 scorer all time. I don't think Tyler Hero or Kendrick Nunn would be close to that, even combined. But yeah, you guys throw them in there, probably some other players for salary to make it work out. Now, if I'm the Heat, I'll be questionable about doing this just because I think they could land a free agent next year. With Giannis being out, I think Kawhi could be a possible free agent on the move. And if the Clippers underperform once again, I think you could get him without having to lose any young pieces, and that would obviously be better than trading for James Harden. Because that would also mean that Kawhi wants to be there. You don't have any worries about him asking for a trade down the road. And obviously you don't have to trade anybody away to get him. And yeah, that's pretty much it for teams that I could see realistically trading for James Harden. Obviously the Nets and the Sixers, I didn't talk about that much. The Bucks were also on his list. I really don't see this happening. They don't have enough young players to trade for James Harden unless you're trading Chris Middleton. But even then, I don't think that's enough for James Harden. They also traded away 5 first-round picks to get Drew Holiday, so they don't really have the picks to get James Harden either. And yeah, if you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time.